I am not interested in your fanciful excuses. You
Devs
are here to serve
the shareholders.
Thus you will obey my commands to the letter. Is that clear?
Yes, Lord.
Bobby.
Greetings, Prince Gale. I bring word from Grand Marshal
Bobby.
Unfortunately, your forces may be a little thinned. You see, Lord
Bobby
has also ordered that all
production, design, and programming teams
report to the front lines immediately. You men, move out!
This is preposterous. Am I
to make the game.
with nothing but sticks and harsh language?
The Grand Marshal has great confidence in your abilities. Be creative.
Bobby.
I'm starting to hate that man.
Hello and welcome. In this video, I'll show you what has happened during the third year of Warcraft 3 Reforged. If you'd like to know more of the history of Reforged, you can find it in these other videos. Let's get started, shall we? So I didn't think I'd be making this video as it seemed Blizzard had ghosted Warcraft 3. However, in March, we received hope.
Hey, quick, can we expect any Warcraft 3 Reforged content updates? Is this something Blizzard is still looking to rectify? We are working on Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Gents, our hope is restored!
He wasn't wrong. In June, we received news of an upcoming patch, 1.33, which includes ranked ladder, player profiles, and leaderboards. This was a positive sign that Blizzard may well be making steps to return the features missing from the original game. However, shortly after, our hopes were dampened by Blizzard ignoring the 20th anniversary of Warcraft 3, which released 3rd of July 2002. Not everyone forgot the anniversary though. Frost Giants game director Tim Campbell, who made the founding of Durotar, otherwise known as the Rexxar campaign, a bonus epic adventure that lets the player embark on an RPG-style journey through many levels, completing quests, puzzles, and dungeons along the way, much like World of Warcraft. He celebrated the birthday with a respectful toast. For a company that celebrated its games on many occasions during anniversaries and holiday sales, Blizzard seems to keep forgetting and leaving one of them out. Can you guess which one it is? But whilst the refund policy for Reforged remains, it's unlikely you'll see it in any sales. So patch 1.33 became available in the public test realm. The players began testing its new features so they could give Blizzard their feedback. One thing that would become a common theme is that with each patch introduced, something else breaks. This video is sponsored by me. I've spent over 50 hours scripting, researching, voicing, and editing this, so if you could like the video and share it, that would be nice. Thanks. I have a YouTube, a Twitch, and I'd like to thank my patrons. Let's continue. A giant Warcraft 3 Reforged Superthread on issues with the game was thus created, so large it could be seen from space. The Superthread went into great detail on how to better improve and fix problems with the game, acting as a one-stop location to help the Warcraft 3 team address the issues for Reforged, containing a wide selection of visual imagery, the result of many hours of tireless work in Photoshop to produce simple images showcasing problems or very detailed creations of how Blizzard should redesign many parts of the user interface and custom campaign support as well as other features. The Superthread was created as Twins, a replica on hiveworkshop.com using its technology and free ability to post images and link embeds, and another one on Blizzard's forums in the public test realm bug reports section. However, if you look for the thread on Blizzard's public test realm forums, which are designed for players to post feedback, you will see this. Blizzard removed the Superthread shortly after it was posted, saying that the forum rules state that you are not allowed to create a list of issues on the bug reports section. Instead, you must list each issue one by one. You can imagine how long that might take. You could be banned just for posting it one by one, since it would look like spam with the multitude of issues Warcraft 3 Reforged has. Here you can see Bogdanov beginning this arduous task. The obvious problem here is that by posting these single threads one by one, they would disappear off the forums quickly and go unnoticed by the new Warcraft 3 team of developers, who would benefit from these step-by-step guides by community members who have decades of experience with the game. I said new Warcraft 3 team of developers for a reason, as the original team was disbanded years ago, so what we currently have is the new Warcraft 3 team pushing out the backlog of patchwork that was already done and left over by the original team. With many bugs and issues still present because the new team didn't originally work on the patch, it's unlikely they know where or possibly how to fix the bugs that came with it, so there's concern that if the bugs from prior patches are not addressed, then that will cause the Warcraft 3 engine to become more unstable and rickety over time. Blizzard went ahead anyway, releasing patch 1.33 on August the 18th, 2022, well over a year since the prior patch 1.32.10. Patch 1.33 introduced ranked ladder, leaderboards, player profiles, classic portraits, in-game stats, global custom games, Reforged campaign changes, and a Zoom feature. Ranked ladder allows players to compete with one another to earn matchmaking rating, which assigns them a rank and place on the leaderboard for the season. Players have a separate MMR for each race and game mode, allowing them to experiment with other races without affecting their main race's statistics. However, ranked ladder is not working correctly, not even to this day, despite 2 further patches, which I'll talk about later. But basically, wins and losses are not calculated accurately, leading to some rather funny results, as you can see.
What? Dude, I got a defeat for that.
The leaderboard allows players to now view their rank, among others, with preset filters to sort between race, friends, and game mode. Well, it's supposed to, but results may vary. The search function doesn't work correctly and has since been removed in later patches. And you may have noticed that wins and losses are displayed incorrectly. Player profiles display the player's current rank, including MMR for each race, as well as lifetime statistics and match history. There is a lot of detail, but I do miss the 3D portrait and the ability to add a text description like in the old profile. Now profiles work even worse than before, as they sporadically choose whether or not to correctly display a player's name or clan.
Life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Now you can change your portrait to something that suits you a bit better with one of these classic portraits that were added. Though not exactly the same as the original Warcraft 3 classic portraits, they remain very true to the spirit of Warcraft 3, and the vast majority of them, they look great and are very welcome. Write down in the comments section below which portrait is your favorite. Players can now type !stats when playing matches to display the win-loss record and MMR for the player in the current match. This has since been updated to look like this, so progress. Custom games are now global and can be filtered by ping. This has since been updated to filter by region too. The zoom feature adds additional camera zoom functionality whilst mouse wheel scrolling, and players have the option to set their default zoom. An issue with this was that you couldn't zoom out further than your set default zoom. This has since been updated to add more flexibility when choosing zoom height. It's one of the better features of Reforged for sure. The Reforged campaign has received various tuning and balance adjustments for many of the campaign maps, courtesy of Cam, an experienced Warcraft 3 veteran in the MODAN scene, focusing on a philosophy that adjusts the difficulty more accurately according to the expected skill level for easy, normal, and hard difficulty players, thus giving a better overall experience for all players as they journey through the Reforged campaign. Other changes to the campaign include improved design of level layouts and reduced wasted startup time for base building missions, providing players with more workers at the beginning so they can focus on objectives right away, thus tightening the pace and overall flow of levels.
Tight, yeah!
A welcome change indeed, but is it as welcome as getting for cars modern? You see, when Reforged released, some original voice lines were cut and others altered. Cars modern! Such as my dwarf Moradin's best line, cut in half, so now it was a gnomish line. But now it's back as it should be. For cars modern! Onwards now to the release of patch 1.34 on December the 1st, 2022, only a few months after the release of patch 1.33. Clans are brought back. Now players can create or join a clan and be assigned various ranks based on importance. The chieftain and shaman rank can kick, promote, or ban clan members. Your clan has its own channel for chatting, just like guild chat in World of Warcraft. Automated player reporting has been added to the game. This is supposedly a similar system to Heroes of the Storm, where a player account has a threshold as to how many reports they need to receive before an automated action is taken, which you can imagine can likely be abused. Players have previously been able to report, but now there are more options. They can report others for bad language through chat or whispers, gameplay sabotage, such as leaving early, AFKing or griefing, bad battle tag or clan tag, so any name or words that might be deemed offensive, which these days is basically everything, and cheating with hacking or botting, as well as boosting or de-ranking. I don't know, you may want to report some of these players, they seem a little sus to me. Forward now to patch 1.35, released on January the 19th, 2023, now only a month after patch 1.34. Custom campaigns finally return, giving players players the chance to play and enjoy other creators' story-driven RPG adventures once again. Though some may not work and crash, like Nature's Call, Return of the Dragon, this is probably because of its age, which hasn't been updated in a while, or it may have unsupported custom models that conflict with Reforged. Some custom campaigns can be played using either Reforged or classic art, like The Last Guardian shown here. Designed for classic gameplay, can also be played with Reforged assets, though it may break your immersion just a little to see the contrast of Reforged models, doodads, and terrains among the classic ones. WebM support has been added for campaign backgrounds, so for legacy custom campaigns that previously used 3D backgrounds using a 3D MDX file, they can adapt it into a WebM, basically a Reforged movie file, so it displays in 3D like it used to. So Blizzard, if you are listening, this should mean that you can return the old 3D backgrounds Warcraft 3 campaigns used to have, replacing the questionable 2.5D backgrounds we currently have. I, for one, would appreciate that. More support for custom movies has been added. The Null campaign has used this in the past, and I'm all for it, as I love the idea of user-created cinematics being implemented in campaign levels to add extra flavor to the storytelling. Ranked play gets a fresh start as a new season resets the ladder, and with that, the MMR for all races and modes. This was mainly done to accommodate the leaderboard now updating correctly. Of course, it still doesn't work right now, but surely one day it will. Blizzard updated the map pool with many maps, most from the more successful third-party community-made ranked ladder known as War3 Champions. Yet even copy-pasting these maps resulted in something going wrong, as Blizzard used outdated versions of these maps, leading to problems like player spawn positions, like this unlucky chap who spawned in between my team. Chimney Isles, whilst having busted spawn positions, which can be fixed, it does have some funny abstract features that normally would never appear in a competitive map, but I'd like to see more of, like allowing players to gain control of corrupted moonwells, quite handy for a bit of refreshment when out and about, and my favourite one yet, which I think is awesome to be fair, is that a player can attain a 4th hero by killing Gairthos in the middle of the map and picking up his Rune of Rebirth.
We humans have to stick together. Suits my purpose.
My patience has ended.
Humanity is in peril. I hate working with these people.
Surprisingly, we got a balance update, attempting a variety of changes aiming to accommodate community feedback, diversify strategy, and reduce player frustration. The Siege Engine changes certainly were a wacky one, allowing a unit that could only attack buildings for 20 years to now be able to attack units as well? Blizzard tried to make this work, but with a change to heavy armor and proving to be worse than a grunt, this tier 3 unit ended up worse as a consequence, so they backtracked on that change instead. Almost 3 years later, nearly all of the missing features from the original Warcraft 3 have returned, bar tournaments, but Blizzard still haven't delivered the promised Reforged models. The promise was that all of the unique campaign hero skins would be usable in Melee. Players were supposed to have more hero skin options from their collection tab to personalize their multiplayer experience. There is one more thing. Very recently, Blizzard conducted a survey gauging players for their response towards a Warcraft 3 Reforged soft relaunch. I wonder if this has anything to do with getting Warcraft 3 in shape for when Microsoft take over Activision Blizzard. What do you think, Clippy? Well, my employers at Microsoft made me sign a tight non-disclosure agreement contract, so my lips are sealed. Alright, well, doesn't hurt to ask. Thanks, Clippy. Oh, shucks, no worries. You're welcome. The survey states that answers are based on the concept of a soft relaunch of Warcraft 3 Reforged that will include features from Legacy Warcraft 3 and additional new features to Warcraft 3 Reforged. New features such as Observer Mode for replays or possibly multiplayer, a revamp of the UI including menus, lobbies, and chat, etc., art rework and improvements for Reforged environments and campaigns, storage size reduction, which I'm sure everyone wants. Gotta love that 28GB install. Personally, the one that appeals the most to me by far is the Legacy Warcraft 3 in-game art update. There's great potential here. StarCraft 2 added HD Warcraft 3 models back in 2015, and a Hive Workshop modder known as Astroman has been porting these StarCraft models into Warcraft 3 and transforming them to make the textures and animations fit. And the Heroes of the Storm models look awesome and right at home in an even more heavily cartoony style for Warcraft 3, because they were made by the man, the myth, the legend, Samwise Didier, the original Warcraft 3 model artist. Oh, also, that grunt from the screenshots is apparently by Wonmin G, a 3D character artist who's worked as a 3D artist at Blizzard Entertainment. So, the grunt might have been promotional work for Warcraft 3 Reforge's early development stages.
Our original idea was to go in an actually more cartoony, stylized version for Warcraft, remastered, reforged. So after we worked with a little bit of style, a little cartoony, we noticed that a lot of games out there have that kind of similar style. A lot of games are doing that more cartoony look. And so we took a step back.
It's sad they ended up in the wrong direction with gritty, realistic graphics for Reforged because of that questionable excuse of cartoony games being too prevalent and popular. There is a reason for that. It's appealing. This isn't. There are many great potential skins for classic graphics at hiveworkshop.com, and the Filagerino models would be what I would most prefer for a Legacy Warcraft 3 in-game art update. I love the way classic Warcraft 3 both feels and plays. The characters have tons of personality with clear, distinct silhouettes. The only thing I feel like they need is higher texture resolution. That way you can keep the original style, but make it more visually crisp to the eye. You know, like what they did with StarCraft Remastered. There's even skins to appeal to a wider demographic, like furries.
Oh my god.
And I wouldn't say no to alternative skins for classic models as long as they look like this. And not this. Who knows if or when this soft relaunch of Warcraft 3 Reforged may happen, but hopefully Blizzard don't rush it like they did with Reforged.
I hope you guys like the style we went with.
No! No! No!
If Blizzard take their time to get Warcraft 3 Reforged right, then I'm sure fans can't wait to play it. Well, that just about does it for this third year of Warcraft 3 Reforged. Hopefully the future is bright and that you have a good day. Thanks so much for watching this far. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like the video, share it to others to get the message out there that Warcraft 3 Reforged isn't finished yet. Follow me on Twitch, and if you don't mind helping me out, subscribe so I can finally reach the 100k milestone after so many years. Take care. I'll see you later.
We're too late. This entire city must be purged.